So one really nice feature we have inside of Synthflow is we give you the ability to fully configure what your clients can and can't see when you give them and hand over a sub account. So once you're inside your agency tab, you're going to see 3 tabs at the bottom: visibility, integrations, and permissions. If we click into visibility, we can see we've got a few settings here. And when you configure this, these are applied by default to all newly created sub accounts. You can modify these settings for individual existing sub accounts in the sub accounts tab. So here we have an example of what you can see by default. And then if we toggle each one of these off, it's going to either remove or add in some functionality. So let's say you have an entry-level client and they don't use Go High Level. They're not going to use the REST API, but they might want to see Zapier. So we're going to leave Zapier toggled. We're going to leave the deployment toggled because that turns off the whole section. Also, we might want to actually remove the prompt that we have configured for them. So they don't need to get into the nitty-gritty of scripts and the if this then that's and how we're applying guardrails to their assistant. So we can turn that off. But they might also want to be able to see the calls that are going out. So we can leave that on. On the next tab, we have integrations. And with integrations, this allows each sub account to use their own API keys for third-party integrations. So one good example with this is if you would like your client to bring in and use their own Twilio account, which then they could use their own phone numbers with their own verification and authentication packages, and also their own 11 Labs account. So they can use their own tokens, clone their own voices, which they may not want to give you access to. So you can toggle this on and off too. And the final tab is permissions. Now in permissions, again, this is applied by default, but under each sub account, if you log into the settings, you can change them for each one. Top, we have minutes. So the amount of free minutes that you want to give each sub account. You can tweak this on creation of each new one too. Do you want each person to be able to create their own assistants independently? That might be a good idea. Maybe one. Maybe you want to limit to inbound and outbound. Do you want them to be able to create teams? This might be for a more advanced user, so we'll keep that one off. Would you like them to be able to independently create workflows using our inbuilt workflow builder? Trigger that on, limit them to 2 workflows. Then we have custom actions. This is more of an advanced feature which you may set up yourself for the client and then just assign to their account. And then buying phone numbers, I want to toggle that on. And then contact management. So that's probably a super simple setup for a basic user to Synthflow, and that's how to configure your default settings when creating a new account for your clients. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial and see you on the next one. Bye.